Alright everybody, this is going to be the AGI Part 2. This time I have it in Genesis mode. Okay. Got a little concern. Before I put it in Genesis mode in the other video, while I was disassembling it to put it in drip mode, finding the spring that's inside the center post and the concern of voltage drop kind of came to mind. So before I had built it for Genesis mode, I had metered it with the 0.7 ohm coil on it, and found out that it loses about 0.9 voltage. On a 4.2 battery I was getting about 3.2, almost 3.3 volts, about 3.2 after the circuit was closed or completed. That was kind of like a concern to me. I immediately thought that this thing was going to be not worth it, being that, okay, in dripping mode I usually like running dual coils, and unless I was going to drill a hole for the second coil, that would make it that I would have to use also a dual coil setup on Genesis mode. And if I were to do that, I'd have to let me see. I'd have to drill another hole to have a wick hole, or a fill hole, and to have dual wicks in there. Now, there was something I did like about it in Genesis mode. The center post on the AGA T I, some of you may have experienced that screwing it on and off your device kind of twist the post a little bit, and by twisting the post it messes up your coil, and then you're wondering, well, what had happened. On the AGI, the center post is just like the negative post. It's got a nice solid sleeve on there, and has a screw that threads into the positive post, down into the insulator, and then down into the 510 connection on the bottom of the base of the top cap. Another thing I didn't like was, okay, it has the drip well lip, but when it's time to put in Genny mode, it's kind of a little harder to work on. Then I noticed also that the negative screw is really close to the wick hole. I barely have enough clearance to run a 28 gauge wire in there. The wick hole is the same size as the AGA. It's a 332. I don't know how many millimeters that converts to, but it uses. I stuck a 332 drill bit in there. Wrapped my coil. Did a 3/4 wrap. Locked it onto the positive post. Pulsed it. Did the unoxidized wick again. Burned off any oils that may be on it. Rolled it up. Shoved it in. Pulsed it till the hot spots went away. Filled it up and started to vape it. When I started to vape it, my views of it changed. Because at first I was like, okay, it's an alright as a dripper. It works. But when I found out about the voltage drop in full Genny mode, I was like, may not be as good as I thought it would be. But I built it anyways, and vaped it, and actually like it. Let me show you how it vapes right now. Still got the 332 air hole cap. I've got big melons also in here, same as I did on the RSST. Now, I used the same mesh size as I did on the RSST, but this has a smaller wick hole. I should have cut it a little bit, that way I could still have the hollow core like I did on the RSST. I could not stick a syringe in like I did on the other Genny. So right now, until I change my wick dimensions, I do have to tilt this a little bit while I'm vaping. But as you can see, it's vaping quite well. The top cap, being the way it's designed, is giving it exceptional flavor, way better than the AGA T I. And throw hit is there, flavor is there, vapor is there. And the 0.9 voltage drop isn't really bothering me anymore, but I think I'm going to leave this in full Genesis mode. Scratch the dripper mode because I like running dual coils and I don't feel like losing the Genesis capability mode if I drill that second air hole, unless I'm going to run dual coils. But these Gennys, the way I build them, the way I have them set up, they're already a juice whore. I've been playing with this for about 30 minutes, had the tank filled up to about right here. Been vaping it for the last half hour and it's almost empty. Haven't experienced any dry hits yet, but I do prefer the RSST over this at this point. I think once I adjust my wick dimensions, this will vape a lot better. But I'm very, very satisfied with the way it performs in Genesis mode. I don't know what I was thinking getting a Genny dripper combo, knowing that you got to take it apart every time you want to switch, and why switch when you can just have one or the other. So overall, I guess I could say I'm pretty satisfied with it. Would I recommend it to another friend? Yeah, I'd recommend it, just for the fact that it being same company as the AGA, and if they've owned an AGA, this is a better Genesis model than the AGA. Flavor, the center post problem, and vapor production. It's a pretty good atomizer. So there you have it. Also this week, plan on getting, hopefully in the next couple of days, I have the Phoenix V4, which is pretty much the Era clone. Looks similar to the RDA, but supposedly it's a all stainless steel model, a little bit smaller. So I'm kind of anxious to get that, and a few other things. So subscribe and keep watching. Alright, thanks.